Hey guys, so we're thinking about estimating here. Estimating is important for a number of reasons. One of them being that you can use it to figure out if your answer that you come across, right, as you're solving whatever problem it is you're solving, is reasonable. So if you come up with an answer that is totally outside of the realm of reasonable, then you can kind of have your estimating skills there to go, something doesn't seem quite right, and you can rework it. This can also come in handy just in real life, as you are um, using numbers. Grocery store is an awesome example of a place where I use estimating all the time, of figuring out about how much my bill should be, so I know if it's close or if it's kind of way off. So estimating, here we're going to be thinking about estimating by rounding to the nearest unit or the ones place value spot, the nearest whole number. So we're starting with decimals. We've got, in this case, we've got 20 and 2/10 and 4 and 7/100, and we want to multiply. So we want 20 and 2/10 of 4 and 7/100. Okay. But we're not going to solve it right now. What we're going to do is we're going to estimate to see what our answer should be about. So if we think about rounding, what we know is when we want to round to the nearest whole number, in this case, we're looking at this place value spot here. So everything kind of in front of it doesn't matter. We're just honing in on this place value spot, the whole number. We're going to look to the number right behind it, place value spot right behind it, which happens to be the tenths. It's going to tell us if the number should get bigger or stay the same. So in this case, we are going to be saying, oh, wait a second, that should stay the same. Okay, so in that case, we're going to pull back, whoop, all of that stuff, and we know that this stays the same. Well, everything in front of it then is going to stay the same too. So this is going to be about 20. Oops, these fun little squiggles as an equal sign mean about 20. We're going to do the same thing over here with 4. We're going to say, okay, let's look to the digit behind it because we want to be rounding this number either up or keeping it the same. So the digit behind it is a 0, right? Well, if it's 5 or greater, you're going to round up. If it's 4 or lower, this digit's going to stay the same. 0 is definitely lower. So we're going to have about 4. So we're going to multiply 20 times about 4, about 20 by about 4. So what's going to happen here as we go into our estimating is we're going to plop these in. We're going to say, okay, this is no longer a mystery. I'm going to say this is about 20. There it goes. And this is about 4. And as you multiply them, you say, oh, well, I know 2 times 4 is 8, and I'm going to add in my 0. So my answer, right, should be somewhere around 80. If it's not anywhere near 80, then I know that something has gone wrong and I need to rework it. Another time here, this is another way that estimating can come in handy is when you're rounding to the nearest unit, right? Like we were just doing. Sometimes you get confused about where the decimal point should be, right? And the the point where a decimal point lives really matters, right? Because it changes the power of 10 of it, essentially, right? Significantly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to think about in this problem here 1.332 times 1.908. What is a reasonable answer? Well, one of these is the exact answer. Okay. But if we're thinking about what's reasonable, what we can do is we can actually just think about, okay, well, where should the decimal live? Right. So if we round it to the nearest unit, we can say, okay, I want units. So I'm going to look behind it. The behind it's a 3, so this stays as a 1. Okay, 1, about 1. This right here, okay, about, we're going to say the 9 is going to help this 1 round up, so this will become about 2. We can put that fun little symbol in front of it because it's fun to draw. We about 1, about 2. So if we multiply those together, right, we're going to get 1 times 2 is 2. So when we want to think about what is a reasonable answer, well, 25 is not reasonable, right? Less than 1 is not reasonable. Something in the 200s definitely not reasonable. So it leaves us right here. Oops, wrong thing.